Hello, and welcome to the Marie Show, where we keep it real on the mic, making inspiring choices. Today's episode is I Ain't Wit It. And the guest for this show is Karita Cole, a Christian hip hop artist. Hello, Karita.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, thank you so much. And your glasses. I just absolutely love them. And I know that a lot of young girls who look up to you, they admire your fashion, your music, your dance skills. I mean, you have it all. So tell us, who is Karita Cole?
Well, Karita Cole is everything that you just said. Um, I am, of course, a Christian inspirational artist, hip hop and R&B. Very energetic. My style is, of course, out there, and so it draws attention. It gets especially the youth involved, and they love it. They love the music, and I love to the message. The message is what's very important. The style and the sound and the music draws them, but the message is what can help change them.
Right. And your music is unique in its own way. For one, it's Christian music. So that right there lets your audience know who you serve, what you're about, what direction you're going. Then for two, you inspire young girls. So that gives them leeway to know that you can still be a Christian and have fun. So I just want to ask, what inspired you to become an artist?
I probably would say I've always, love to dance. I love music. And I guess probably watching Missy Elliott and Aaliyah, they probably are my biggest influencers. They inspired me to want to be an artist myself. I've always been creative, and but what I guess I'm an original church girl. I'm brought up in the church, and so I've been in church, be in church 6 days a week. But I probably would say that looking at Kirk Franklin, that's probably what helped me to think that I can still serve God through my music and still be hip at the same time. So that's probably what helped shape me.
And right, Kurt Franklin, he is unique himself. And I know growing up watching him, I was like, he makes, the videos, he makes the in person shows, he makes everything that he touches. I mean, everything he touches is gold. He is so creative. And that's a good artist to look up to, especially to get creative ways from. Um, you mentioned your style, like what inspired your fashion? I mean, you can't say, well, me on the outside looking in, I'm like, okay, colors. No, like you have a unique style, but I love it and it's so fitting for your audience. So what inspired that?
I'm always, my style kind of like shapes my thoughts, and so my thoughts is always out there. I'm always thinking, wild and crazy things, and so I kind of like am living it on the outside. And I probably will also say like watching TLC again. People, a lot of artists that I was influenced by that. Like, wow, okay, I want to do something different too, and it gave me I had the confidence to do so, be myself.
Okay, well, that's really good. I know growing up, and you probably heard the same thing that, older people would tell us, things they come and go, and it always comes back. And all that fun fashion, big clothes, crazy colors, I mean, it's back now. That's what's in. I know, like my son, my nephew, they like the wild, crazy color tennis shoes, but they have to match with their shorts and their shirt one color, but the shoe it can be crazy. It's like that's the new it thing. My shoes have to matter. So I didn't know if you were going by that same thing, but TLC is a good one. One of my favorites of TLC. I can't remember the song. They wore overalls. Um, I don't know if you remember, but each one of them had some different style or color.
Oh yeah. What about your friends? Maybe.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
that's my favorite. Like, and
Yeah.
I've always wondered, like, do you like turn into someone else before you hit the stage? Like, do you have an alter ego? Is basically what I'm asking.
Yeah, of course I do. People always tell me it's like you're not the same person that in person than what I see on stage, and that's true. I have an alter ego. I haven't gave my alter ego a name, but not yet. She doesn't have a name yet, but I do have an alter ego. It's the same person. It's just when I'm on stage, I just love to entertain. I love, and the bigger the crowd, the more I entertain, and it just gives me energy. It just thrives me. I love it. So,
That's amazing. And you said that you didn't have a name. Maybe that should be something that you let your audience pick out for you.
oh yeah,
That would
yeah.
that would be really good. Get them involved. So I know it takes a lot of preparation, even months, days, up to the minute. How do you prepare to go on stage from the beginning to the end? Just explain that to us.
Yes, it is lengthy preparation, and myself, I am sort of a perfectionist, so I love to rehearse like every song that I'm going to perform over and over and over. And something maybe different. I like to do it in the mirror because for some reason, like if I can remember how I'm going to perform in the looking at myself, then I know I'm going to be able to do it in front of the crowd. But the first thing, before I even go on stage, of course, I pray and I have a certain prayer that I pray. I pray that God, gets the glory, no matter what. So sometimes I have performed and I forgot what I'm going to say, or I didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. Everything that I had planned, it just didn't. It didn't go that way. But the reaction from the crowd or a lot of people that came up to me and said that that inspired them or it what I said uplifted them. I know that okay, it's not about me, it's about God, and He got the glory at the end.
Yeah, so I mean that's for all of us, like sometimes even as we're walking to where we're going or walking up on the stage or about to sit down in front of a computer, prayer is needed. Prayer is very, very important. And I realized just by keeping up with Karita Cole that your audience ranges not just young girls, but for younger women too. For those who feel like, oh, it's too late for me to get started. It's time for me to focus on this and that. Like, what, how, what advice would you give, not necessarily young girls, but any girl or woman that is looking to pursue to become an artist?
I would say that it's never too late. No, it's never too late. I would just say the same thing that has been told to me from seasoned saints or encouragement that was been given to me. You always um, have time as long as you're here. You always have time. It's never too late, and to just pursue whatever is on your heart because and to just do it. What do you have to lose? You know, to just do it.
To just do it. That's
Just do
exactly right. And I know for us women, it takes an extra push for us to actually get something going. I know with guys, it's just like, oh, I'll do it. Oh, I'll do it. And it kind of gets pushed under the rug. Um,
Yeah.
But as I mentioned in another episode, like this talk show is my baby, and I had been preparing it for a very long time. And it just seemed like at the beginning of this year, God was just like, what are you waiting on? And I ask myself, Ty, what are you waiting on? Just do it, just at least get the steps going, and me, I'm a firm believer in God, and I'm like, God's got me, God's with me, no matter what, I'm going to do this. And I think with you having the audience that you have, like it's going to take you so far because there's so many young girls out there that are going through things that they feel they can't even share with their own parents, and your music will get them through that. So if you could just leave three nuggets
Okay.
for our audience that could inspire them, what three nuggets would you give them?
Okay. I'm gonna try to make them like trying to shorten them, but um, just to piggyback on what you were saying, especially like with young women, and you know, I before releasing my just recent album, that was a process of probably 2 years, and I had kind of was in a hard place in my life, went through a lot of life things, but I just continued to, I believed, and I just took one step at a time. Took one step at a time, and just one day at a time, and eventually things got better and better and better, and I was able to release it. My three nuggets would be to one, step out on faith. Um, Step out on faith. Sometimes you may be like, well, I don't have an audience, or nobody around me is encouraging me. You may be alone, but step out on faith, and God will put the right people in your life, and doors will continue to open one, and it will blow your mind. My second nugget would be to have confidence in yourself. You want people to believe in you. Sometimes we worry like, oh, who likes me? But you gotta first believe in yourself, and then the rest will fall in place. And my third would be is to trust God, and trust His timing. His Our timing is not His time. I know, especially as church babies, we've heard that so much, but it really, really is true. Trust Him, and just continue to walk in whatever you want to do in life.
And those are awesome nuggets because I use those same nuggets. And my biggest one was being confident in myself. Like I had all the negative things. I don't have an audience. Who's going to watch my show? Who's going to tune in? The internet's too high class for older people. Like I gave all these excuses and it just kept pushing me back further and further. So I love those three nuggets. Step out on faith, be confident in yourself, and trust God. Like one of my other friends said, just faith it, trust God. It's a whole process. If you're willing to put in the work during the process, God will take care of the rest.
Yes.
Amazing, Karita. Love you for that. Them three nuggets will go far. I know, like I said, I shared those same nuggets and I continue to remind myself every day, keep going. There's no reason to give up. You got this. So, this episode is I Ain't With It. So, when you hear someone talk about I Ain't With It, or let's back up, let's tell the audience about I Ain't With It.
Yeah. So I Ain't With It. It is a campaign that I've been having for some time, and it's the first song. It's my first rap song that I ever made, and it's based upon saving yourself for marriage, and as far as being celibate, and especially in today's world, that is unheard of, and people laugh at you. That's just not what people do. But within that, I try to encourage young girls, especially even young boys, you know, to it'll help you so you can build a relationship with the person that God is you're supposed to be with, and it will also help prevent unwanted soul ties, unwanted baggage that you might have from being in with the wrong people. And it also, like I said, brings about the right people in your life, um, that you want to have when you get married. So That's what it's about. I ain't with it. So when the devil comes to you with temptation, whether that temptation may be sex, drugs, alcohol, anything, you say, I ain't with
I ain't with it.
it.
That's crazy because I tell my daughter, just you don't have to explain, just I ain't with it or no. I don't know why this new generation, it's so hard for them to say no. And I've been using your slogan, the name of your first song. Just say I ain't with it. You don't have to explain. I ain't with it.
You
Can
know,
you? No, I ain't with it.
yes.
So, Karita, I know I'm wondering. So, what's next? What do you have going on?
Well, next is so my album Recognition, I released it in May. And in this world of the pandemic, we are trying to put together a tour. Um, and that is what's actually next. My next concert is the International Food and Arts Festival here in Jackson, and we're just after that. We're trying to put together some dates for the next year, called the Recognition Tour.
All right. So, if the audience wants to keep up with Karita, how can they follow you, keep track of your music? What are your social media handles?
They can follow me on Facebook. My name is Carita Cole, Caritacole. And you can also on TikTok, Carita Cole, Instagram, Carita Cole, Twitter is Carita VIP, and YouTube. I think I said YouTube, but also and stream my music is available on all streaming sites. Whichever one that you prefer, you can find me. And so yeah, everywhere is the same. Carita Cole. You'll only find me.
All right. Thank you so much, Karita, for being on this episode of I Ain't With It. You gave three perfect nuggets. Step out on faith, believe in yourself, and
Yeah,
trust God. It's all a process.
it
And
is.
to all the young folks that are watching, don't feel like you have to do something. Like Karita said, just let them know I ain't with it. You don't have to explain. Just remember that.
Yes.
Thank you, Karita, for being on the Marie Show, where we keep it real on the mic, making inspiring choices for this episode of I Ain't With It. We will get back to you and hopefully get you back on the show.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for being here. I love being on the show. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in to the Marie Show, where we keep it real on the mic, making inspiring choices with the episode of I Ain't With It with Karita Cole. If you would like to keep up with her, please follow her on all of her social media handles, Karita Cole. Just remember, you don't have to answer. Just say, I ain't with it.